Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Andiamo alla Cucina. Today we're going to be making I pesche italiani, Italian peaches. We're also going to I'm going to do a version of that with lemon. And the peaches that I make, you're going to need vermouth and grenadine. And that I contribute most of this recipe or tips to my Aunt Maria Nina in Massachusetts and my cousin Giovanna, who when we were kids would make this Italian peaches for a lot of our occasions, weddings, baby showers, and when they would make them, let me tell you, who was distracting my aunt to take two more and hide them and eat them? They're really delicious. I'm also gonna make a version of an orange one, just orange, and we'll get to that later on. But right now, I also wanna tell you some things that you might need. I'm gonna be using walnut shells, empty walnut shells, okay? When we make the cookie portion of the pesche italiani, we're gonna put this underneath the dough so it keeps a hollow part inside the cookie. So when they're done, you could quickly, when they're cooled off, you could quickly fill and don't have to worry about scooping out the cookie. So this is a really good tip. If you don't have these or you can't find them, which I suggest that you go and find them and empty them out, wash them, clean them, take out all the inside part. Then you'll have to, when the cookies are done, you'll have to take each one and scoop out enough of the cookie to make it hollow so you could fill the pastry cream and the Nutella. That's what I use. We're gonna be using a pasticcera cream and Nutella cream for the peaches. Then for the lemon, we're gonna use lemon curd, which you can see my recipe online on my page on YouTube, along with the lemon pasticcera cream. So your pasticcera cream and the lemon curd for the lemon ones. And then for the orange, we're gonna use an orange pasticcera cream inside the cookie. Okay? So to get started, you need your eggs, you need your sugar, and you need the milk heating up. So I already have the milk heating up. I'm gonna check it real quick. You don't want it to boil, but you want it nice and hot. So I'm gonna put this on low because it's exactly where I want it. And we're gonna start with whisking the eggs and the sugar together. So I'm doing double batch because I'm doing the peaches and the lemon ones. So I'm gonna put the recipe for single in case you just wanna do peaches. And if you wanna do another one, you'll have to double the batches and go from there. So sugar goes in with the eggs. We're gonna mix this good. Hope you guys can see here. So I'll make one big bowl and then I'm gonna divide it in the end for the lemon and for the orange. All right, we mix this as good as we can here. Just whisking it with a regular whisker because then I'll use the mixing little handheld mixer afterwards. And we're gonna put in our cornstarch. If you ever catch me saying something wrong, because someone called me out on it, I'm glad they did, always look at the recipe that's underneath in the description. Please make sure that you hit the bell on the YouTube, little icon, the bell, so that you could get notified when new videos come out. Of course, you could always like and follow my page. That'll also give you when I'm posting new stuff. Okay. I want to thank all my followers, my top fans, for being so supportive of me. That means a lot to me. It tells me how I'm doing. All right, so this is mixed in. I like the consistency. It looks good. Looks like everything is mixed in. Just want to get two other items out of my cupboard because once we're done with this, we're going to be adding in some flavoring as well. That always happens to me. Okay, so just wanted to get my lemon out. And my Orangecello, which I see I'm missing. So I am going to improvise and use orange blossom water instead. I'll clean that up later. Let me just clean my whisk real good. Some soap and water. So just bear with me a minute. See, so my kitchen is not much different than yours. Things happen in my kitchen as well, okay? I like to show the videos the way they are versus editing, because it is what it is. All right, we got that in there. Now we're gonna temper these eggs. I'm gonna check the milk one more time. Just a little bit hotter. Let me get my orange blossom water. You're also going to need like orange zest and lemon zest, and that we put in last after we do the pasticcera cream. So I have some lemon, I have my orange blossom water, which I'll use probably half, a quarter of a vial. I have orange zest in one plate. I have zest, and I have a big piece that I'm gonna leave in there. That'll also help you when you take out the creams to know which one is orange and which one is lemon, okay? Let's get that milk and start tempering the eggs. So the milk, you're gonna do a little at a time. This is gonna go back onto the oven, so back on the stove. So put a little bit in and whisk. I've been itching to make these for a while. When you put this back on the stove is when it's going to get thick, like a custard. That's what pasticcera cream is a custard, Italian custard. And like I said, I'm making double batch because I'm making a few different kinds. I'm making the lemons, the oranges, and the peaches. This is something that I just came up with. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the recipe as well. Okay, that's all of it. Now this is going to go back into the pot and we're going to go to the stove. Okay, so give me 1 second here. I'm just going to pour this by the sink just in case I make a mistake, a mess. Okay, bear with me. And it did not, which is good. Okay, I'm going to use the same bowl in a minute, so I'm just going to leave it here. And I'm going to take you over to the stove. Just going to put this here. And bring you over this way so you can see what I'm doing, okay? So we have it on the stove. We have it on medium, between 4, 5, and 6. I'm actually going to use a spoon here. You might want to lower it. You'll see how it goes on the stove. You know, you want it to cook and thicken. So right now I lowered it to 4. And we're just stirring. You want to continuously stir because you don't want it to stick to the bottom and get messed up. So the vermouth and the grenadine is what gives the color to the peaches. I know some people use that Italian almashare or something like that. It's called, I forget, but it's too red for me. It looks, instead of looking like a peach, it looks more like a cherry. And the flavoring is just not the same. So grenadine is a little on the sweeter side, and the vermouth just makes it perfect. You have to have Nutella, so make sure you have Nutella in your cupboard. And I suggest when you do these recipes, and I'm going to talk now a little bit just to give you some tips. Count your eggs out, put them in a bowl, so you're not using more or less. You're not working out of the container of the eggs. Let's say you had it already halfway started, and all of a sudden you start cracking eggs. You're like, oh my God, how many eggs was that? One of them broke. I don't know how many yolks I have. So count all your stuff, prepare everything, have it ready. Like you see, I had my sugar ready, I had my cornstarch ready, I have my flavorings, my zest already put in there. I try to make the videos a little bit shorter. So once this is done, I'm going to divide it in probably 2-to-1 ratio, because the lemon flavor is going to have the lemon for the lemons. The peaches has the lemon and the Nutella. And let me tell you, I don't know why, but it works out perfectly. My aunt taught us well. There wasn't not one person who didn't like these Italian peaches. So we're just waiting for this to thicken, and it's working nicely. And put the flame up just a little bit. I don't know where you guys have been, but this summer's been so hot and sweltering. You don't know when to turn it up, turn it low. Sometimes it gets so cold in the house that I'm like, oh my God, now it's hot, I'm baking, I should have put it up earlier. And it's always the same scenario. Another thing you'll need too is probably some like cake liner, cupcake liner little cups, because you want to place them in there once you're done with the peaches. You'll also need sugar in a bowl, because you're going to roll them once we put them together. But we'll get to that a little bit later. But definitely if you have the walnut, oh, it saves you a ton of time. Instead of having to scoop out, you know, the middle part of the cookies to fill it with the pastry creams and the Nutella. And then I have fresh mint, so I'll use that as the garnish for the leaves on the peaches. If not, you could pick up some of those fake ones at Michael's or Joanne Fabrics, I think sells them too. You know, Amazon has everything. But since I have the fresh mint, that's what I'll use for the leaves at the end. Oh, this takes some time. Okay guys, so I had paused the video just for a little bit until this started getting really thick. And it's there, so I'm gonna lower this because I want to really stir. And you could see here how thick, okay? So it's already a cream. So we just want this to start, when you see it start to like bubble, we're gonna shut it off. But from 1 minute to another, all of a sudden you go, oh my God, it's thick. So it'll take you by surprise. So just make sure you stir, pay attention. don't think for a minute. You could just like not stir it. Keep stirring. Make sure you stir from the sides, in the middle. All right. It looks good to me. It's at that point. You can see again how thick, and as this cools off, it'll get thicker. And just before you go to use it to fill, you'll probably either whisk it or use a hand mixer and just whip it a little bit. Because you're gonna wind up putting it in a pastry bag anyway, if you have one. If not, you'll have to use a spoon. Okay. I have to say, Italian cooking and baking is beautiful. Nothing like it. Nothing like making your own. And don't throw away your egg whites. Look at my videos. Use the egg whites for something. You can make Italian buttercream and make something else, a cake. You can put them in the refrigerator, leave them in there. Always separate your eggs when they're cold. It makes it easier. And never waste anything. If you're doing, let's say one day you're doing Italian buttercream and you have a bunch of yolks, look at my recipe, make some lemon curd. All right, guys, so this is done. We're gonna go over here and we're gonna put this into a couple of bowls. So here's my bowl that the lemon's gonna go in, okay? And this one we'll use for the orange. It's gonna be a little, I'm not gonna make too many of those, so I'll put the rest in here. I think I have enough there. I want to thank everybody for the comments that you leave. I know a lot of people ask me if I'm a pastry chef. I don't know why they would say that. Maybe I'm a little bit better than you, so you think I'm a pastry chef. But I'm just self-taught from my mom, from my aunts, when we were kids, paying attention. Some things I learned on myself, too. Okay. I think I got everything here. All right. Just gonna put this in some cold water so I don't get a sticky pot afterwards to clean. Okay, so you know in the orange one I already put the orange zest. In this one we're gonna put the lemon. And because we're using this for the lemon ones and the pesce italiani, pesche italiani, not pesce, pesche italiani, for the Italian peaches, we want to make sure it's got enough lemon. So I'm using a whole lemon in here. Now, if you're not making the lemons or the orange ones, and you're just making the peaches, you're just gonna use the recipe for the custard one time. You make double batches, or you wanna make a variations, and of course you're gonna double it up. So what you're gonna see below in the description is for one portion, okay? This video is I'm multitasking. I'm giving you guys, instead of doing separate videos, I'm giving it to you all at once, okay? So we gotta work quick with this because of the simple fact that it creates a skin and we don't want that. So, just mixing up this one real quick. All right, so the orange one, since I don't have orange extract, I'm gonna use a quarter vial of the Arancino, lots of water. And in here, we're gonna put lemon. You can use as much or as little as you want. If you're doing one batch, I would say at least 2 teaspoons. So this is 2 batches, but in there, I used orange blossom water. In here, I'm gonna put, and because you guys are watching, and I do things, eyeball it, I'm gonna use 1, 2 of the lemon extract in that one, okay? And I always tell you guys, I love citrus, any kind of citrus. Vanilla, orange or lemon. I just love citrus flavors, so. Okay, so this, I'll make it smell, it smells so good. You can even put a quarter shot of limoncello if you want. I just don't feel like going to get it. I'm gonna use it later on, so I think, I don't wanna overpower it either because I have lemon curd that's gonna go mixed with lemon for when I do the lemon ones. Okay. You know my hands are clean because I'm constantly washing them, so anybody watching tuned in halfway through the video, my hands are constantly being washed. Okay, this is the lemon one. And I probably could use a smaller bowl, but for now, we're gonna leave it in this big one. So it'll work for me to whip them up when I need to. The bowl's deep enough. Okay. All right. All right, so once this is done, you're gonna quickly put clear saran wrap paper over the bowls, right onto the cream so it doesn't form a skin. So it's gonna go on top, and you're actually gonna press down on the saran wrap so it sits right on top of that cream. Like so. Okay? And we're gonna do the same to this one here. And these are gonna go into the refrigerator here in a minute to cool off. And then we're gonna start on the dough. I'm just gonna straighten up a little bit and then we'll start on the dough. Guys, we're gonna start making the dough. So I have my butter already in here. Remember, the recipe and ingredients are all on the bottom of in the description. So to the sugar, I'm adding, to the butter I'm adding the sugar, sorry. I'm just gonna let that whip up. We're also gonna need eggs. So I'm gonna go ahead and always break them in a bowl. They're room temperature, by the way, because I've been baking all day. So always wanna crack them in a bowl in case you get a shell or in case you get a bad egg. These eggs are good. So some things you guys can do prior is sift your flour, get all that stuff ready. So I already sifted my flour. And I am gonna get my spatula out and just scrape. Because it's hot, the butter is room temperature, but I left it just a little bit cooler than normal because of the simple fact that it's been so hot that even if with the AC on, when you're baking, things just don't turn out sometimes the way you want. So I'm just getting some of the butter that's stuck in here out. Once you start adding the eggs and stuff and it keeps blending, it won't be a problem. Could use a hand mixer, but I really like to have my hands free when I'm baking, so I use the stand mixer all the time. I'm a big fan of the KitchenAid. If you ever want to get me a gift, I could use the KitchenAid regular mixer, not the stand mixer. It's one that looks similar like this. The head comes up. It's really cool. Okay. Start to add an egg one at a time. Just letting that cream up real good. Next egg. And I always tell you guys, as soon as you're done with your stuff, get it out of the way. Don't leave stuff sitting around, because then you start saying, did I use it, did I not use it? That's why it's good to pre-measure your stuff and have it all sitting in bowls, okay? I'm gonna scrape this again. I just really want that to get incorporated well. I'm making a little espresso because I'm gonna need it tonight. After this, I gotta do another video, so. All right, that's looking good. We're gonna use a pinch of salt. We're gonna add some milk. Just gonna put a little bit in. And I'm gonna scrape again. Just scraping from the bottom and the sides, make sure everything is able to get incorporated. Okay. And I'm gonna add my lemon zest now that I have this down so I don't have to go back and forth. So it's washed and cleaned. Okay. We're gonna start adding in our flour. A little bit at a time. I got some lemon zest here. Okay. We're gonna switch to a paddle in a little bit, but I just wanted to beat this up a little bit. All right, so like I said, this is already sifted. Gotta check my espresso. All right, so we're gonna add a little bit of flour at a time. Like I said, this is already sifted, so. This dough is gonna get thick, so I'm not gonna keep this whisk on. I'm just doing it just for a little bit. It smells good. All right, I'm gonna switch to a paddle. I'm going to scrape the bowl on here. And I smell my coffee coming up. So I will take a second here and go look at that. And you can mix this with your hands, but I'll do that at the end. Okay. Let's continue. Remember, you don't want to put this on full speed. The flour from flying up on you. Once you see it's getting a little wet, then you can pull it up again. A little bit of the milk in. We're going to use 8 grams or half a bustina the Panagelo lievito per Dolci, which is baking powder. And that's half right there. So it's about like that's like a teaspoon of baking powder. add more flour. I have that cover that I could use that goes over the bowl and you just slide it in so it doesn't blow up on you. I always wanted it, and guess what? I'm not using it. I'm gonna put the rest of that milk in. We're actually going to take this out and work it on the table. I do have a little bit of flour left in the bowl, which I'm going to use, and I might need a little bit more. So, you know, I just want to let you guys know, don't crucify people when they give you recipes, because sometimes you have to add a little bit extra. All right, espresso's done. This we're going to take out. And we're going to work it on the table a little bit. And then this is going to rest. We'll let it rest about maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes. Give me a chance to have a little espresso. And then prepare the table, clean up a little bit, and prepare everything for forming the cookies with the shells and having everything set up so we could roll them quickly, get them in the oven, because then the fun part is putting them together, in my opinion. Once you see them turning color and coming together, it's just, it's really nice. Okay. I know my Aunt Marianina, when she made these, they didn't use KitchenAid stands. It was all done by hand. But I'm a believer of technology. And I'm sure my cousin Giovanna would probably say the same, because when she was small, her mother would make her help to make these. And of course, we would always call in advance, "You're coming? Make sure you bring those cookies. Make sure you bring the peaches." Poor thing. It was always had to come with, you know, we were a big family, so they'd have to come with a whole bunch of these. They didn't come with just like, you know, 1 or 2 or a dozen. It was like 4 dozen. Okay, so I'm gonna put some flour actually on here before I pour this out. Remember I told you guys to keep your flour in a container, it just makes easier reach. I'll probably make another batch of this, depending on much. Depends too, you know, you might have a little pastiglieri cream left over. Use it for something else. It all depends on how much you filled your cookies and how hollow you got them. So if you have a little leftover, it's just part of the way the recipe goes. Sometimes it's enough, sometimes you're short one, you know? So, okay. just gonna, you guys see this? Me. Okay, I think it's a better. All right, guys, I hit a button. Hopefully, I didn't cause any problems. All right, so we're just working this dough here, getting it nice and incorporated. Make sure you flour your surface, flour your hands a little bit. I just want to basically absorb the dough. The flour absorb. Let the dough absorb the flour. I think it's fine right here. Let's take a look. Yeah, I like the way it feels. It's fine. Okay, so we're gonna put a little plastic wrap around this and let it sit right on the counter. I don't want this to dry out. Let it rest. And actually, I'll put it in this bowl where the flour was. Okay, it was just enough flour, I have to tell you, because what was in the bowl we used in the mix on the table here. So I'm going to clean up, straighten everything out so we get ready to roll out the cookies, show you how to use those walnut shells so that it leaves a hollowness underneath when we go fill them. Okay. Okay guys, we're back. And right now what I'm doing is taking the shells, the walnut shells, and I'm just rubbing it with a little bit of oil. I already started doing that on a few of them to get a head start here. You could use a brush, just lightly wet them with the oil. You don't need much oil, so don't pour a bunch of oil in a thing, just a couple of tablespoons. And I'm gonna make a few of them with you, and then I will let them cook, and then we'll come back and we'll assemble them. I'll have an assembly line set up so that you could see how we do the lemon, the peaches, and the orange. And we've given enough time for the pasticcera cream to get nice and cold. I'll put them in piping bags. I'll have everything set up. The ratio of the vermouth and the grenadine, and limoncello for the lemon, and for the orange, I might use Orangecello with a little Crema Pasticcera, so we'll see. All right, I think I got enough here. I'm just gonna rinse off my hands real quick. Okay, the dough rested. Take that out. And basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a piece, we're gonna roll it into a ball, okay? You could use a scooper if you wanna get them all the same size. You could do all the balls first, which maybe I will do, so that I could show you quickly how to assemble these, okay? You do two at a time, okay? Remember, each ball is a half. Okay, so let me show you. We're gonna take this, take the dough, and we're gonna press gently over the walnut, trying to still keep it nice and round, okay? And you could sort of like work down the shell. Okay, so you want a nice size. These shells were small, but you can see the bottom here, okay? And then because the oil's on there though, they should pop right off. They shouldn't give you a hard time popping off. This will save you time from having to scoop out. I don't like scooping out, okay? So I try to work quick and efficient. Whatever becomes easier. So if you go find the walnut shells, definitely do it. It's a great thing. And you could save them for the next time you do them. You don't gotta throw them out. Wash them and then save them. Let's do one that I'm gonna say is for the lemon. Here's one of the balls. We're gonna press down, right? Make it nice and round. Sort of like more like an oval. Actually, see, like this. And we're gonna pinch the sides. You see that? I pinched here. That's that little lemon piece. I messed that one up now, that side. You could do one or you could do both. So see, it looks like a lemon. And that will fill with the lemon curd and the lemon flavored pasticcera cream. Okay, we'll do another one like that. And I think I might have to do another thing of dough because I made, I think the recipe that I have is actually, you could get more out of it because these shells are small. So they're not gonna be huge, okay? So I'm gonna make a few of the lemon because I do want a few of those. And then I'll come back and I'll make more later. Since everything else is done, the dough doesn't take long to make. And you're just gonna form it around the walnut. How pretty. Looks like a lemon. Do one more like that. Okay. The orange has got to be round if you're going to make the oranges too. Okay. And again, we're just going to place it on top and then form it nice and round for your peaches and your oranges. See the shells underneath? That'll pop right out. So I think the dough that I just made, I'm gonna actually put double the recipe. So when you guys make these, because you're gonna wanna make quite a few of them. Okay, see that with the shell? It's actually very therapeutic in my opinion. Takes your mind off stuff. Make sure the shell is nice and in there and it covers the shell. And you want these to come out a little golden. You don't want them to be burnt and you don't want them to be real pale. You want them to be just enough. the walnut being in there really gives a nice amount where you can fill the cream in nicely. You make these for a party, I guarantee you everybody's gonna be calling you, hey, could you make peaches for me? Por favor, Pesche. See, the dough that I have here is good to make just like 1.5 dozen maybe. So I'm going to make another batch of it. Thank God for the hand mixer and the KitchenAid mixers, because it's a lot of work sometimes doing these things. Sometimes kids don't appreciate what you make. Just try to keep it round as best you can. Okay. You want to make sure that you make enough, like line them up so you could see that you have 2 halves. You always have an extra, I guess you could just fill it and eat it like that for yourself. Taste test it. Make another lemon. Okay. It's gonna look pretty. So we got 2, 2, and 2. Oops, I'm grabbing from the wrong bowl. My kids were saying to me, how come you need the walnut shells? If they only knew how my poor aunt, I don't think she used the walnuts. She scooped out the cookie in the back to fill with the pasticcera cream. I don't have patience for that. It just takes up too much time to sit there. And 2, it depends how much you're gonna get out of these. All depends on how big your walnut shells are too. Okay? Okay, so that's one tray. Got the lemons and the peaches and the oranges shapes. Okay, and these are gonna go into the oven to the nice and golden. And then I probably have another tray here to do, but I think I wanna make a little bit more, so I think I'll make the dough one more time. So I'll just put the recipe dough for what I have here. And then if you need to make more, you can. Like I said, depends on how big you make them, how big the the ball you make, how big the peaches you want, the size peaches you make. All right, guys, so let me get these baked off and then we will assemble. All right, guys, we're back. So everything is laid out here. I have my creams, I have my grenadine and vermouth right here for the peaches, limoncello for the lemon, and orangecello for the oranges, okay? And we have sugar in a bowl. I have some mint leaves from my garden that I'll garnish with. I have my Nutella, and I have some cupcake liners. Okay, so I had also here a pan with a grate so I can let them drip. I want to show you how these come out, how easy these come out. So this is one of them, the lemon. And look how nice that came out, and like look at the nice deep hole to fill the cream with, okay? Here's another one. And another. So I don't have to scoop out the cookie itself. All right, so let's get started here because I have a whole nother 2 pans I have to do. All right, so let's first do the peaches. We're gonna take them and we're gonna dip them in the grenadine and vermouth, okay? Let them get nice and wet. Maybe hold them in there for like, I don't know, 15 seconds. Take them out. You want it to really grab. This is how the cookie is. So it's like doing a simple syrup bath. Okay. Do 2 more. And the vermouth and the grenadine. Letting them soak real nice. You want to get them nice and wet. Okay. Some people do them. They wet them afterwards. I like to wet them before. I think it's just more control. Okay. Now, just get paper towel for my hands. So this is the Pesche Italiani, the Italian peaches. And we're gonna fill, I labeled my bags with what the creams are. So we're gonna do lemon. I'm just trying to line these up right. So I just show you easier. And lemon, okay? Then we're gonna do the Nutella. Sorry. Nutella. You don't wanna be cheap with the cream. And we're gonna take it, and we're gonna close it. Oops. There'll be a little more cream in there. Okay. A little more cream. A little more Nutella. You sort of want it to come out so they could see it. And these are huge. Okay, we're gonna take this and we're gonna roll it in the sugar, okay? And we're gonna place it in here. Look how pretty, okay? The next one in the sugar. Now you can make these as big or as small as you want. Remember the dough fills up, it expands, okay? Do another one. Soak it in there, let it get in there and soak. And I'm gonna do a lemon one. I'll let that soak in there. And we'll do an orange. Let them soak nice. Okay. Now, for the lemon and the orange, we're gonna do something different. Just letting it soak real good. Okay, lemon and lemon. So we're gonna use lemon curd. Okay. And the lemon pasticcera cream. Line these up, close it, and roll it in the sugar. And I suggest you put these in the refrigerator for a little bit. That's the lemon. I'm gonna do another lemon. Let it soak in there. And get these orange ones out. And the orange, we're going to use the orange pasticcera cream. Close them up. Nice sandwich. Roll it in the sugar. Put it here. Although the orange, I'm not too happy, it doesn't show as much. So, what I think I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna add a drop of the vermouth in it. Just a drop. I'd say that's about a half a shot. So let's try one more. I want to see if it comes out more orange. Letting it soak, taking out the peach. Peach is getting Nutella. Okay. And the lemon, pasticcera cream. Close it. And we're going to put it into the sugar. And it gives a beautiful orange hue. Let's try another orange one. You might want to turn these upside down, let it drip a little bit. This is the orange. It's getting the orange pasticcera. And I have to tell you, it does taste like orange. Okay. Let me plate a couple of these up so you can see what they look like a little bit better. I got a little bit of the Nutella on the outside of the peach. I just want to clean it up a little bit. The lemon, the orange, and we're going to take a sprig of the mint. I do have, believe it or not, peach leaves outside, but time did not permit. A lemon. Actually, the lemon, I want to sort of put it towards the end there. So you could see here, the peach, how pretty that looks. You have the lemons. Oh, we forgot to put a sprig in those. When you do these, make sure that you really when you do the dough around the walnut, that you do it really, how do you say it? Wrap it really nice around. Okay. I'm gonna finish these up, but you see the peaches, the lemons, and the orange. Okay? So we have another lemon one here. We're gonna let me just get this out. That's been soaking for a while, which is good. And again, we're gonna use the lemon. Let me just turn this upside down for a second. Any excess water that's laying, limoncello that's in there. Okay. And the lemon curd. This really has a nice flavor of lemon curd. And you want that lemon to really peek out, so. Okay, and we're gonna take it and we're gonna roll it in the sugar. And I need another cupcake liner. Oops. And we need another sprig. Okay, there you got it. Look how beautiful they look. Okay, I'll plate more of these up and I will show pictures. I hope you guys enjoyed this session of Andiamo alla Cucina. Please invite your friends, invite people to see the page, share the recipes. That's why I put them online. And I thank you for your support. Share, like on the YouTube, hit the icon for that, click on the little bell and that'll subscribe you. And this way you'll get, whenever a video comes up, it will let you know. Also, leave any comment that you'd like, okay? And thank you again. Thank you for your support. Bye.